packet, the listing appointment, listing agreement. We might have just covered your answer right there. We're going to do some recaps, and then always daily success system. While leads are vital to your sales business, seller listings are critical to your ability to build it to its highest level with the lowest cost and highest net. Let's talk about our A sellers. An A qualified seller is one who is able, ready, and willing to do business within the next 14 days. This means they are financially able to complete the transaction now and are ready and motivated to make strategic decisions now and are willing to act now. If you notice, we say now a lot. If you intend to capture the mind share of a seller, you need to be following up with them daily to secure an appointment. Let's see here. Our goal with all our seller leads is to get an appointment so we can get the listing agreement and sell the house. However, listings give us a lot of additional benefits as well. The 3 L's. All our clients are amazing and we are grateful to them for choosing us. Therefore, we need to give them our best work and efforts. Sellers are special because they bring us listings. We've discussed this before. The basis of a great real estate business are leads, listings, and leverage. We love listings because they bring us not just a commission and the ability to build a relationship for repeat referral business. They bring us the best marketing opportunity in real estate while giving us more control over our time. And I'm going to tell you guys just a quick story really fast. I went to a graduation party and I had just posted, I think I posted like the for sale sign. And then I did like a boomerang on my Instagram and I was like, office for the day, right? And the for sale sign literally has 2 guys on it. It's Michael, Soros, and Taylor. So it's not my listing, right? And I went to a graduation party. There was another realtor there that said, how's your listing going? And I was like, huh? I don't got a listing right now. And she was like, oh, I just saw your post. So not only, I was very hesitant about posting the for sale sign because it's not my picture. It's not my listing. And I'm not, we're not supposed to advertise it that way. And all I said was office for the day. But she thought that it was my listing and she's a realtor. Now she's a newer realtor. So she probably didn't really see the picture because it was a boomerang. But I tell you that to tell you that this part where they talk about having a listing is great for marketing. Use it to your ability. Okay. If you don't know how to market it, reach out to your coach, reach out to someone. I'm not even joking, you guys. Go on YouTube and put in there how to market my listing and you will find 1 million videos. Take what you like and roll with it. It's free advertisement, right? Okay, virtues of seller listings. Seller listings mean marketing opportunities. You have more control of your time with listings. Listings maximize per hour compensation. You can do more volume in listings than buyers. Let's see. Properly marketing listings brings you more business. Ding, ding, ding. Let's dive into this a little bit more. Seller listings mean more marketing opportunities. We kind of already covered that. You have more control over your time with listings. Does anybody want to share with me why they think that's listed there? Why would we have more time with a listing than we would with buyers?
You mean more time with the seller itself or with the listing?
It says you have more control of your time. Why would that be different?
Because maybe with a buyer, you have to take them to different houses and look for their inventory.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, at least how I run with my buyers is I'm on their time. So whenever they want to go see the house, I have to make that work, right? Because I want them to buy a home. I want them to find their home. And so you work off of their time. So that's why we have a little bit more control. When you have a listing, you have a lockbox on the dang house. And then, generally speaking, the clients have their own realtor that will show them the property. You don't even got to be there. Now you might have to be there if the agent isn't available and they ask you if you could show the property, you're gonna want to do open houses, but you're scheduling this and it's on your time and your availability. Listings maximize your per hour compensation. I think that it kind of covers that in number 2. So why is that there? Because you don't potentially work as many hours and you get a little bit more commission on your paycheck. That's not always a bad thing, right? 7-step seller service cycle. This is just mirrors the buyer one, except for it's in a seller format. Leads conversion, pre-listing, listing consultation, servicing and marketing, offers and negotiations, contract to close, and post-close systems.
Sorry, I'm missing something there. So you get more with the listing, more paid?
Well, let's think about it this way. I'm not sure if Amy's discussed, well, let me back up a bit. You set your percentage on a listing.
Correct.
So let's say it's 6%. What do you have you guys gone into MetroList and looked at any properties?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I have done it myself in the past, but not with, I don't think with Amy. Edith, what did you say?
Just on your own, that's my question. So if you go into MetroList and you look up an address that's listed for sale. At the bottom, you're going to see buyer's commission 2%, buyer's commission 2.5%. Have you seen that before?
Correct. Yes, absolutely.
If you
yes.
have not, go find that because I need this to make sense. But
Oh yeah, no, I'm familiar with it. Yeah.
okay, so does that make sense? So if your seller commission is 6% and you're paying the buyer 2.5 on a buyer, the listing agent sets your commission.
So it doesn't have to be half of that always for
No.
the buyer. Okay,
Mhm.
and then can they see what is the total percentage on a contract? The 6%. Can anyone see that? Can a buyer agent or anyone else can they see the 6
That's
or
between
5%
you and your client.
only? There, no one is not public.
It's not public to my knowledge.
Okay.
No.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, so we went over that. Let's talk about getting the appointment. Again, it's very similar to the buyers. I kind of wish that we would have covered it in one, but here we are. Keys to converting your A sellers: respond right away to lead inquiries, get valid and complete contact information, save it to command and create an opportunity. Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it. Set an appointment, time and date for as soon as possible and send pre-listing packet. Let's break it down a little bit. Respond right away to lead inquiries. That's common sense, guys. That's kind of what we expect from other people and other businesses. And we should be going above and beyond for our clients so that they don't hesitate to speak our name when someone says they need a realtor. If you're not responding right away, they're not going to have that A+ billing. Get valid and complete contact information, save it to command and create an opportunity. Do all of those things. So Edith, if your client is not in command and it's not created as an opportunity, I would encourage you to do that today. If you need help.
We did send her a report on what the just a very brief comparable on what the houses were selling in her area.
Okay, perfect. Is she in command?
She is.
Okay, and did you create an opportunity for her?
I haven't. What she hasn't given me, and I've asked her for it, is her phone number. I just have been contacting her through email.
Okay.
So I did ask her for her phone number. So I'm waiting.
Okay. Got it. Determine their motivation to sell so you can speak to it. This is kind of, again, what we covered with buyers, but we want to ask them, why are you selling? And when you ask that question and they tell you, oh, I'm downsizing, my kids moved out of the house and I just don't need this much room. Your response should be, tell me more about that. Don't just stop right there. dig a little deeper, because yes, that's an answer, but you might need to refer to this later to remind them why they're in it. I can't tell you how many clients have called me crying and I just don't see how this deal is ever going to close. And, you know, sometimes they need some, as a realtor, we are a therapist. We are a relationship counselor. We're financial advisors. We do a lot, you know, so just remember that it's really important to understand what their motivation is to sell. And because again, their motivation might not be there. Does that mean that you should not get into the listing contract with them? Not necessarily, but at least you know that there might not be that much motivation there. Make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Set an appointment, time and date for as soon as possible and send pre-listing packet. Let's talk about why. Why would we want to make an appointment as soon as possible? Because people change their minds or they're going to meet with another agent. If they're having this conversation around another agent and you haven't booked the appointment, they're going to say, I'd love to meet with you tomorrow. Are you free right now? Someone will want to do it ASAP. You need to be that person. And send them a pre-listing packet. Why would we do that? Because we want to look like we have our stuff together. We want to look like we are that agent, because you are that agent. Make yourself that agent. I am ready to take on your listing. This is what I do with every client. They don't need to know that it's your first client. This is what I do with all my clients. Got it? Okay. What sellers want most from their agent? Getting an appointment is about letting your sellers know that you are going to be the agent that fulfills their needs in this transaction. So what do sellers want? Let's see. Help price home competitively. Help seller market home to potential buyers. Help sell the home within specific time frame. Help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more, and other. So let me see. I can't hardly read this. My eyes are really bad and I don't have my glasses on. What color is the purple? Is other? I don't know what they would be talking about for other, but this is just a few things. Help price the home competitively. That's probably the most important. If you list too high, you're not going to have very many eyes on the property, and seasoned agents will look at it and say they overpriced that home. Okay. If you price it too low, you might not get the exact amount that your seller wants. Help seller market the home to potential buyers. Obviously, that's our job. Have professional photos taken. I cannot say this enough. I run another business. It's a photography business, but I will tell you that it's not just because I'm a photographer. Many agents in the office can look at a listing and say, those are cell phone photos. You did your seller no justice. Will it cost you money? Yeah. Photographers don't work for free. Good photographers charge you a pretty penny, probably $350. Okay. But I'm telling you right now that if you put cell phone photos online, everyone's going to know. And I think it's different for every agent. You just want to do the most for your client, and doing the most for your client is handling their transaction professionally. Market the home
For yourself.
Yes. Yeah,
Helps
exactly.
you.
Because do you want to post cell phone photos on a flyer on Facebook? You don't. I'm telling you right now, if I pull up professional photos and cell phone photos, you're going to be like, holy crap, you're right.
Right.
So, you know, that's why they hire you. Help sell the home within a specific time frame. I'm going to tell you right now, obviously that's our goal. That doesn't always happen. The trend I'm seeing is homes are either going into contract within a week or they're sitting for a month or two. And that's what I tell my buyers and I tell my sellers. Sometimes they sit on the market for a year. It's really hard to determine. Help seller find ways to fix up the home to sell it for more. This one is a little bit confusing to me because of what Bruce said in the contracts class on Tuesday. I will tell you that I have a vendor list and I do use it because I do work with people that I trust. And for me, I work with people that I can call them and say, hey, Tom, the roof isn't done. What the heck is going on? Your deadline was Monday. You're making me look bad to my client. And I've had that conversation with vendors like, hey, I'm going to have to call you on your stuff if you don't do what you're supposed to do, because I put my name out there to my client to give you business. It's business, bud. You know what I mean? But anyways, moving forward, any questions on this? Any questions on why we do professional photos? Any questions on where to find a photographer? Just so you know, our office does have a preferred vendor list as well. And you can email Sam and ask her for that. But there are photographers on there. Some people for more expensive listings do a video tour.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Amy's photographer, I believe, charges $350, and he does photos and like a small video, just kind of portraying the house. Those are great. Build confidence and trust. As you talk to the seller and get the appointment, remember that these conversations lay foundation for your working relationship. Your first goal in connecting is to build confidence and trust. You do that by excluding or exiting confidence in yourself and showing attentive professionalism by asking questions. Again, why are you selling your home? I'm downsizing. Tell me more. They give you an answer. Explain that a little bit to me, or tell me a little bit more. Dig deeper for me. Asking questions is going to get them talking more, and you're really going to really understand where they're coming from and why they need to sell. Your focus during this process is not to sell. It's to provide value, meet their real estate needs, and secure the appointment. They need to experience what it's like to work with an agent who asks questions, listens, and cares. Let's see. 7, close to appointments tactics. Don't leave any conversation without asking for the appointment multiple times. The worst they can do is say no. Remember your value proposition. You are going to work hard for them, and you do a great job, and they will benefit from having you as their agent. I will tell you this, when I first started, I took Ignite, and I was looking at these things going, if someone asked me what I do for them to earn that 6%, I don't know that I would know what to tell them. So if you're thinking that, I'd really strongly recommend you writing it down and saying, this is what I think I would do with a listing. And I'm talking about from beginning to end. So you are going to, draw up the legal documents for the listing on MLS. You're going to have the professional photos taken. You are going to ABCD. You're going to facilitate open houses, whether you're hosting them or an agent in your office is hosting them. You are going to provide the lockbox. People don't think about that. Lock boxes cost, I think, $150. These are all things that come out of your pocket, whether you sell the house or not. So I would encourage you to write a list down and then maybe go over it with Amy. Say, hey, did I forget anything? Because I'd really love to explain my value to people if you don't have it already in your head. Sorry, that was kind of off topic, but I know that was something I struggled with. Now, if someone asked me, I'd be like, oh, do you have 30 minutes? Let's go over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
And how,
go ahead.
and what KW does to advertise it, all the places and how many
Absolutely.
that you can sell that.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so show the benefits, take back close, negative, positive close, give them what they're looking for, trial close, assumptive close, tie downs. These are all the things that they're telling you to do when you're having that conversation, and they're telling you to ask for the appointment. So, questions versus objectives. We have talked a lot about objections throughout the time of night, and addressing objections is an important part of our job. However, sometimes we need to step back and make sure we are hearing an objection before we address it. Responding to every question is like an objection. like an objection, can be exhausting and may not help. So what is that? When a question is asked, answer it. When objection comes up, address it. So what they're saying is, if they ask you a question, of course, answer it. When you hear an objection come up, like, I don't think there are going to be that many buyers because of the interest rates, address it. How do you address that objection? I mean, every objection is going to be different, but let's say they tell you, I don't think I'm going to sell my home because there's not that many buyers because of the interest rates. What I would tell you is dive into your market center. If you were not at the meeting yesterday, you should have been, because you will see how many people are buying homes. So if that's the objection, honey, I got your answer. We have a lot of buyers. Yes, our numbers are down overall, but not us, but the market's numbers are down overall, but there are still plenty of people buying homes. So when a question comes up, answer it. When an objection comes up, address it. How do you get better at addressing objections? Role play with someone. Because I can tell you, if me and Reza were doing role play, I would give you a really messed up one and then I'd give you an easy one. And you won't get better until you practice. Questions, comments? Okay, let's talk about the pre-listing packet. Who has heard of going from E to P? Anyone? What do we mean? Yeah, from E to P. From entrepreneurial, I always struggle with that word, entrepreneurial to purposeful, because everyone wants to own their own business. If you ask people, they will tell you, I'd love to own my own business one day. And I'm going to tell you why it doesn't work for everyone. I was talking to my best friend one day, it was right after Christmas, and I made the comment about working on Christmas, and she was like, I would never. And I was like, well, that's you. I run 2 businesses, and if one of my clients needs something on Christmas Day, I'm going to do it. Now, when I say I worked on Christmas, I probably answered 2 emails and sent a document. It probably took me 20 minutes. But I'm going to do it because I have to. What am I going to wait a whole day and then wait another day for those documents to be signed? That's silly. I'm going to do it. So going from entrepreneurial, which everyone is, I'm telling you right now, everyone is that, but you have to take that to purposeful. Not everyone. A lot of people get into real estate and they're like, I want to own my own business. I want to have more time with my family. I want to make my own schedule. Well, guess what? Making your own schedule means you work a lot. It means you work a lot.
Just to Tom Ferry and said, everyone works like 9 to 5. Real estate is after 5 plus weekend.
Yeah. And you know what's funny is I started saying that to everyone.
Or is it like all of it?
Yeah. I started saying that to all of the supermarket people, because, you know, we're taught to talk to random people that were in real estate, you know, and so what I've found is that on the weekends, or like Friday or Monday, when I'm having that casual conversation with the cashier, you know, you always say, do you have any plans for the weekends? You always start talking. I always start talking about the weekend. And I always say, I'm a realtor. I work every day of the year. Because it's true. So, let's see. What do we mean when we say we need to go from E to P to break through ceilings of achievement? Move from being entrepreneurial, doing what comes naturally, to purposeful, working on proven systems and models to achieve more. Much of what we talked about in Ignite is about learning those models and systems. Getting here from E to P is simple, it's not easy. Gary Keller says that a lot. It's simple, but it's not easy. And guess what? Not a lot of agents are going to do it. If you talk to any agent and you ask them how they got their success, you're going to get 1,000, 1,000,000 different responses, because not everybody's journey is the same. But they will tell you to pick up your phone and call people in your phone. They will tell you to do open houses because buyers come to you. You have to move from E to P. Pre-listing packet goals. A great pre-listing packet does three main things. It pre-sells. The pre-listing materials are designed to build the seller's confidence in you and to answer their questions and objections. It saves time. It's designed to save time. If someone emailed me a pre-listing packet, I probably wouldn't read it. Because guess what? That's what the appointment for, and I'm going to wait to ask all my questions then. However, I will tell you that that's not my personality. I don't do documents. I would really rather not ever look at a document. Now I have to because of my real estate career. However, if I don't have to look it over, I ain't gonna. There are people like that though. They like numbers, they like reading, they like to examine things so they can understand it. So that's why we send it. States your value. The pre-listing packet tells the seller what you bring to them and their transaction. So remember earlier today, I asked you to start making that list. You don't have to do it right now, but I would, while you're watching your favorite show tonight, have a pen and pad and you can just write it down when you think of it. And then you have it ongoing. And then as the days go on, you can add more to it because guess what? When you have a listing, you're going to need to present that to someone. And I'd rather you start working on that list now than when you absolutely need it. Remember, sellers have specific goals they intend to achieve. And this is a crucial step in discovering their goals and telling them how you will help them. Will you review it? Let's see. Will you review it in the listing presentation? Does it eliminate the need for a listing consultation? Is it a primer for education? Pre-listing packet criteria. This set of materials communicates your professionalism and value. Each piece of information included should fulfill one of the following criteria. Pre-listing packet. We will talk more about the pre-listing packet as we talk about the listing presentation. You should think about the pre-listing packet according to the three criteria we just discussed. The pre-listing packet helps the sellers to get ready to understand and accept your plan for their home by providing them with general information. Just as you did for your buyer's consultation, you'll need to do some follow-up with the sellers once you set the listing appointment. Look at the seller consultation preparation checklist in your participant guide that I did not give you. I will do that. Listing appointment. I think this is probably the most important. The purpose of the listing presentation is to get the seller to list with you. Duh, obviously, right? You achieve that by doing three things. Create a great impression to build the seller's confidence in you as their real estate agent of choice. Because remember, they have options. Share your price recommendation, the initial list price for their property and the reasoning behind it. So that means before you go to the listing appointment, what should you be doing? You should be running comps on the property. You should be talking to your coach if you're not confident in that. Hey, Amy, I have no idea what I'm doing. These are the comps I ran, because I'm telling you right now, don't come to your coach and say, I didn't do any work. Do it for me. Pull the comps. She's going to ask you, where do you think it should be listed? And then she's going to ask you, why do you think it should be listed there? Have some information ready. Okay. Okay, so share your price recommendation, the initial list price, explain how you believe this price is designed to get their home sold in the shortest amount of time and for the most money possible. So what I would like to add to this is that when you go in there with that price, and let's say you're approaching it Amy's way. Amy's way is to list it just under what it should sell for. I don't know if she's discussed that in Ignite yet. Maybe this is the class that she normally does. But let's say the home is supposed to sell for $500,000. She'd probably list it at $450,000. Why is that? More eyes on the property. And in her experience, and I've seen it firsthand, it generally goes into a multi-bid situation, which means your seller is in a better position. If your seller has one offer, or your seller has 5 offers, which one do you think they're going to be happier with? 5 offers, because that means they can get the 2 that are really low and then focus on these 3 that are pretty similar, but have different contingencies. Or maybe one has a 10-day close and one has a 45-day close. They have more options. So again, you need to explain why you want to set it at that price. Now, I will say that who has the final say so on the price? The client, the seller, 100%. So if you go in there with your recommendation and they're like, there's no way, Edith, I am not charging $300,000 for my house. I want 8. Okay. But I just want to prepare you for that. The client ultimately sets the price. And I've heard several conversations with agents and they're like, I know it's overpriced. However, here we are. You know what I mean?
I have that experience already. When we were selling our rental, I wasn't listening to, and I work with our realtor all the time, my realtor that I had. And he told me, let's list it a little bit lower. I said, no, all these houses. Well, I was at the mercy of, and because I had to sell it because I needed to buy, I wanted to buy my mom's house. So I lost a lot of money on that house for not listening.
Now, sometimes it's hard to explain that. And what I would follow up with to clients is that, let's say we set it at 300,000. Okay. And you received 10 offers and they're all for 300,000, but you really wanted to sell it for 350. You don't have to accept any of those offers. You don't. We could take it off the market, put it back on. We could up the price. We could do whatever the heck you want to do. But this is my recommendation and a proven track system that I think will bring a lot of eyes to your property. So, and again, remember that when you're looking for your buyers, you're putting in a price point of 300,000, let's say, and you're going to get more eyes on the property. I don't know where I was going with that. I apologize, but it's going to get more eyes on the property. They don't have to accept any offer if they don't want to. They can take the dang house off the market if they want to. They're still in full control. So if those are some things that I would say, but again, role play with someone so that you kind of have something to say to them, because right now you might be like, I don't know. So go ahead.
I think it's just giving them an example. I mean, what I have learned just for the past few months, it's the most important thing is out of all of this is pricing it right. And I'm in Davis, and around us, there's on Alice Street, there's this house that is really desirable neighborhood. People want to buy this house. They priced it a good 200,000 over. It's like 1.4, I want to say. And we were all shocked when we did the caravan. It was like, whoa, this is, and it's a, good experience. Well, 2 different agents, and they kept dropping it 50, and the next one was $100,000. It's still sitting on the market. While you were talking, I was just looking it up. It's still on the market. And
for how many days?
It's so crazy. So let's see how many days.
Because when that's okay. When I'm working with a buyer, that's one of the things I look at. How many days it's been on the market? Because
96 days.
96 days. Yeah. Which means if I was working with a buyer that was interested in that property, I'd say this property has been on the market for 96 days. Guess what the seller is? Desperate.
Negotiate.
Yep. So let's come in under and let's take everything we can. Because
and
that's my job as the buyer's agent, is to identify those things for the client and help them win the bid. And you're going to be sitting in a better place with a property that's been on the market for 96 days rather than a property that's been on the market for 3 days and has 3 offers already.
Right. And I know the seller, just as an astute block over, and I think I can see the seller pushed for my house is nice, and it's 2,820 square feet, 5 bedroom, 4 bath, but it's So it's,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how the listing presentation meets seller needs and wants. So this is showing you a page in the packet. Your needs come first. Why do we say that to people? Because it's important. At the end of the day, the real estate business is a relationship business. This part of your listing presentation is about the relationship. It's important. Doing this piece right here will go a very long way into earning their current and future business. What I would say if I was going over this packet with someone is, I know this page seems a little bit silly, but I want you to know that I work for you. Your needs and wants and your goals are what I'm here for. Sometimes people need to hear it from your mouth. You know what I mean? I am knowledgeable and caring and the best agent for these clients. They will appreciate my expertise and preparation and choose me to represent them as they sell their home. Say this to yourself before you walk into the dang appointment. Get your mind right, because all of those limiting beliefs that fill our head will fill your head before going to this appointment. Guess what this is, guys? It's a job interview. Who does not get nervous before a job interview? I always do. No matter if I know I'm the best person for the role or not, you still get nervous. So having something like this saved in your phone to say to yourself is not a bad thing. Okay. The listing presentation is where you show off your hard work and research and get the listing. In addition to going through the listing presentation, you'll preview the home and ask for the listing agreement. Listing walkthrough. When you arrive to the potential seller's home, it's important to establish yourself as a knowledgeable professional right away. Greet your potential clients, thank them for the opportunity, and ask them if you can leave your things in the kitchen while you conduct the home walkthrough. So something Amy says that really has stuck with me is, I'm going to walk the home as if I was a buyer. Why does she say that? Well, because as a buyer, I'm going to be looking for anything wrong with the home. I'm going to be looking for things that need improvement. And these are things that you need to know when doing that so that you can tell them this is what the buyer is going to see. Because when you're walking through your own home, you don't see that. My home is perfect. Thank you very much. No, the roof doesn't need to be replaced. You know what I mean? Like those sort of things. So Amy always says, let me walk the property as the buyer does. I believe that's what she says. Don't quote me on it, but something similar. It's also a good idea to compliment something about the home. Man, this fireplace is amazing. It's the best fireplace I've ever seen in my life. Right?
Yeah. Or as if you were buying it, kind of look at things that,
Yep.
you know, yeah, that stands out. And
Absolutely. People love compliments. So do it.
so
Whether you
true.
get the listing or not, always send the seller a handwritten note, thank you note, immediately after the appointment. Guys, if you're not using Amazon, do it. Because if you told me to go get cards, I don't even know if Walmart sells like the little packs of cards anymore. I'm just going to use Amazon. They deliver it to my house and it's cheaper. Get a pack of cards for $6 and have them ready. I would encourage you to do it now, just so you can send thank you notes or, hey, I was thinking of you today. It doesn't cost a lot. And people love handwritten notes because nobody does it anymore. Let's see here. Anything you want to talk about before we move on to the listing agreement? Okay, let's dive right in. All right. As we wrap up our learning session and transition to our daily success system, let's take a quick review. What is it not going to go over the listing agreement? No, it's not. Our session is over. What is the next class? What's the next class today? Work with buyers. Boo. Okay, so it doesn't go over that. What I would encourage you to do, Edith, is go into car, go into your do you even know where to go for that stuff? Okay, go into car and type in listing and see what comes up. What I've noticed about car also is that when you start typing things, like if I was gonna do a purchase agreement, and then while you're filling out the purchase agreement, how you answer questions, it pops up different forms that it adds to it. So if I'm doing a VA loan, it's gonna put in the VA forms. So I would encourage you to go in there and play with that as well, but
I was
also text Amy.
I was trying to, and what is your number? I forgot.
916-501-7429.
What I did this morning after I received her email, I went in to try to start looking for the forms, and I was just kind of playing around with it. So just to try to navigate my way, but I think I went into NARS instead of cars. I can't remember. There were different things that I was going in there. So what I'm gonna do is I'll look for the listing agreement and
Actually,
you had also said
I think it's Sacramento Association of Realtors.
oh,
Why?
that's yeah, I went through that. I
You did.
forgot. Yeah, oh, the pre-listing. So I'm gonna look for the pre-listing packet. So would
The pre-listing packet would not be hang on. I always get these mixed up. Is this what I want? No, that's not what I want.
Are you doing this by yourself or with the coach?
What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
Oh, you've added, are you selling this, the coming?
Well, it's my grandson, his little friend, his parents live out of Sacramento. And what they
Right.
want to do is they want to move to Sacramento to be closer to his school. So I had her grandma actually, because we pick up the kids together. I told, oh, you know
Right.
what, I'm a realtor. So I reached out to her, so she responded to me and said
Nice.
she thinks she's ready, but she wanted to know what my fees were. So I emailed Amy and asked her, I'm not sure about this. And so then she responded to my email, but I kind of don't want to go over this with the potential client to go over text. I'd rather meet with her or on the phone, but she hasn't given me her phone number, which I've been asking for her number. So that's what I'm working on.
Got it.
That's great. Good luck. Yeah.
So can you see my screen?
Yes.
Yes.
So you go to car.org, car.org, and then you sign in.
Okay. I have all these passwords. I think I did that one.
Okay, and then you sign in here. Hang on one second. Hi there.
Have you had any lists?
How are you?
Have you had any listings yet? I haven't.
But I have done one presentation with
Oh, you
another
did?
agent together but this house was in Sac where I knew the son and the mom
Okay,
was
sorry
trying to
about
buy
that.
the house, but they already had their own agent that just bought a house for the mom.
Oh.
And I came in right in the middle. The son wanted me to have to talk to his mom and see if she changes her mind or not with going, but she already had an agent.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm
But they asked us.
I'm still just trying to put myself out there, which, hopefully soon.
What I would
Yeah,
recommend
no,
is
absolutely.
start doing real estate activities. Go look at vacant homes and share it on your social media. Do you have Instagram? Do you have Facebook? Do you have Snapchat? I showed up property in the outside of the home was so cute. I took a single picture of the home, posted it on my Instagram story and said, hey there, cutie. And so many people liked it. But guess what? That's a reminder that that's what I do for my job. I look at homes. Want to buy a home? Let me know. Okay. So let's jump back here really fast so we can have a 10-minute break. See this transaction right here?
Mhm.
This is after I've signed in. If you click on transactions, there's like 4 steps. Okay, this website cannot be reached. Just my luck. And then if you go down here to transactions, it just went away. You see this little wolf guy and it says access now.
Zip
Click access.
forms, yeah.
Zip forms, yeah.
I
And
did
then-
that, but
You
then
did?
I did that. I remember seeing that, then I started getting lost.
Okay, so it's validating my membership, continue to transactions. And then, dun, 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 Maybe.
41.
12 hours later. Sheesh.
It's just too hot.
Yeah.
No coffee this one.
Let's say I want to do a new transaction. And right here, it's going to ask you what you're doing. New listing, new purchase offer. Now, even if you don't have a client, go in here and start messing around with it.
Okay,
Yeah, make it on yourself. Melinda
Okay.
Ducker. So right here, there's an MLS Connect. Obviously, if it's a listing and you're getting the listing agreement signed, you're not going to have that option, but for buyers, absolutely use that. But yeah, just start going in here and playing around with it, and you might be able to figure it out on your own.
okay, I'll do
Amy's
that.
going to ask you if you've done that probably.
Okay,
Okay, so
Okay.
let's come back at 2:10.
okay. Thank
See
you.
soon.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Are you gonna go, do you go to the barbecue things?
For today,
No, I think it's the 29th. Are you taking your
Oh.
family?
yes, you can't believe I have gone to their, event, any event you go to, you learn, like you have to go to those. You
Okay.
talk to others, you feel comfortable around, or at least for me, I feel like anytime I go there, I build my confidence with,
Okay, yeah,
mean,
because I'm
and you
gonna
can
take,
hear-
I'm gonna take my my daughter and my son-in-law and my grandson to play and stuff and just start
Right.
being out there. It's just hard, but that's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, and I think there's a mixer of some sort tonight at
Yeah.
KW as well. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna go, but it's really do you go to the association meetings at all?
I went to the orientation. I'm not gonna go to the
Right.
mixer today. And then yesterday I went to the team meeting.
Right, but to the SAR, the
I
Sacramento
went to
Association,
one, just one.
those are also, I mean, I'm different association. I'm here at EAR, and it's really helpful every time
Okay.
you connect with your local agents, and it's every time they have some kind of education, someone comes and give us a talk,
Yeah,
and you'll
yeah.
learn.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I need. With one of the lenders that I worked with before on like purchasing our homes. I reached out to her and let her know. So she's actually inviting me to one of their things where some really big speakers are coming. So I'm gonna attend that because I just want to learn
That's
as
great.
much as I can. But
Yeah, exactly how the loan process,
Yeah.
works, and yeah, those is so many information. I'm
and
like
stuff,
overwhelmed.
I'll let you take your break then.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay. Well, nice talking to you.
Is everyone back or should we wait? I know I'm a minute early.
Yes, I'm here. Sorry, just was
Oh,
muted.
that's okay. I was early, so don't worry about it.
As we were on break, the young lady finally sent me her phone number.
Yay!
Oh, nice.
And she
Congrats.
wants to, she says she wants to, she can do a phone appointment tomorrow at 7.
Nice. Okay, perfect. So are you getting excited? Are you
I
getting
am.
nervous?
I'm nervous. I'm very nervous because I just, I don't know what, I would like to secure this and make her feel good and, but it's hard on the phone. I would rather have in person, but a phone is fine.
Mm-hmm.
Should I try to see if she wants to do it in person or is it okay to do it over the phone?
So you're talking about your listing appointment, right?
Yes.
How would you know where to price the home without seeing it?
Well, I would, it's not a listing. It's just to see if she wants to use me. She just wants to meet. I mean, she just wants to go over, I think, like the fees, what I would charge. And I already talked to Amy about that. And I think she just wants to feel comfortable. I think tomorrow is just to see if she's going to go with me or not, because she's still not sure if she wants to sell her home. I think she's a little bit nervous.
I would tell you that I would want to meet at the home.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I would say. But, you know, that might be a better question for your coach. Just because I don't know. I don't want to coach you on the situation and have it be wrong.
Okay,
but yeah,
so
I would.
I'll reach out to Amy and let her know she wants to do a phone appointment just to see if she wants to get into contract with me. I think she mostly wants to, and I'll talk to Amy, she wants to discuss commission.
Mm-hmm. Got it. Okay, give me just a second while I pull up these slides. Oh, this internet today. It's still thinking. I apologize, you guys.
No worries. Or playing with car here.
Oh, good luck. No, I'm just kidding.
Did you have any luck?
To log in?
Yeah, it took me a while to log in and for them to verify me and
Yeah, let's see, continue. I'm actually creating new passcode.
I have
They
so
want
many
all to know.
passwords that I start getting confused.
Yeah, I write them down.
Okay, so let's talk more about working with buyers and sellers. Maybe if this thing wants to work for me. All right, now I just skipped ahead like 45 slides. Oh my geesh.
Where is the machine? Let's see.
Today's agenda: success with clients, success with buyers, success with sellers, co-agents, daily success system, recaps and ahas. That's our plan for this session. Virtually every top producing agent we have ever worked with has a deep and almost inherent sense of service. They have a servant's heart and a place place their buyers or sellers' real estate experience above all else. They're always thinking service. So don't forget that. When working with buyers and sellers, let's talk about success with clients. The key to success with clients is communication. I'm going to say that again because it's very important. The key to success with clients is communication. We've covered this in many ways so far, including the assistance that Command and the KW app provide in making sure you're communicating with value to your sphere of influence, leads, and clients. Great communication is the foundation for great relationships with your clients. Remember, they are trusting you with what is likely their biggest financial decision and what will serve as the foundation for their lives and the lives of their family. So let me jump back up to the very first sentence that it has me read. The key to success with clients is communication. I feel that if my client has to ask me a question that I already know the answer to, I didn't do my job. Meaning, if they're like, hey, what's going on with the loan? And I already had a conversation with the lender today. Once I have that conversation with the lender, I should be following up with my client. That's my job, right? To be one step ahead of them. I would rather my clients be like, I didn't have to ask hardly any questions because she just told me what was going on. You know what I mean? Provide a strong foundation for a sustaining relationship. And what is a good foundation for any relationship, whether that's a best friend, whether that's a neighbor, whether that's your partner, it's communication. Okay. Provide a strong foundation for a sustaining relationship. Sets and manages expectations proactively throughout the transaction. Sets and manages, that's your job. Create peace of mind for your clients. It will be overwhelming. They will cry. They will want to throw their hands up in the air. You have to be that peace of mind and say, I am handling this for you. Your next step is to sign these documents. These documents mean this. Make sense? Because sometimes when you look at the entire journey, it's too much. It's too much for their brain. So you just have to show them the next step. Get them to that next step. Enhances your credibility. Okay. The 3 levels of service: purpose, value proposition, fiduciary. Purpose, masters of service have a clear understanding of why they should be hired and can articulate it to anyone at any time. Great service begins with a clear purpose for why someone should work with you. If you don't have that in your head, you need to get that in your head. If you can't explain to someone why they should work with you, you need to start working on that. Even if you haven't helped a client before, how are all of the ways you want to help your client? How are all the ways you want to service them? Write it down. Get to memorizing it so that when someone asks you, you have something to tell them. Value proposition. The best agents can translate their purpose and why people should hire them into a specific set of services they will provide. Fiduciary. Highly proactive agents provide a level of service based on their commitment to act as a fiduciary for their client. They place their client's interests above all others, even their own. A fiduciary brings a level of care and trust to the relationship that a functional agent does not. I will tell you guys right now that that's why I'm so glad you have Amy, because going through your first transactions without having a coach would be rough. Lean on your coach. Got it? Because what happens is, at least through my first transactions, is I was like, okay, this happened. And then my coach would be like, great, now your clients have these options. And I didn't know that because I haven't done this before, right? So having someone to help you walk through the transaction is going to help you tremendously, because they're going to open your eyes to more possibilities for your clients. Questions about that? Functionary versus fiduciary. Let's dig deeper into the last concept, fiduciary. We discussed this way back on day 2 in Real Estate Expert. When you operate as a fiduciary for your clients, you earn the right to be their expert of choice. A functionary has a specific task relationship with clients. They do the job by dotting the I's and crossing the T's. A fiduciary is in a high trust relationship with clients and always puts their best interests at the forefront, even before their own. Dual agency, when an agent represents both buyer and seller. We talked about this a little bit with Bruce. I believe both of you were in that class. Remember your fiduciary commitment to your client. For me, representing the buyer and the seller is kind of a conflict of interest because I have to be the fiduciary for both of them. How can that be possible? Because if I'm representing the seller, I'm going to go hard and get them the most money in their pocket. If I'm representing the buyer, I'm going to get them the best price of the home with the most repairs and all the contingencies, right? So how can you represent both? It would be hard for me, but agents do it all the time. Working with both the buyer and the seller on the transaction is the dual agency. Though this is legal in many areas, it's not advisable, especially as a new agent. Many infractions that endanger the agent's license stem from this practice. With being a fiduciary in a fiduciary relationship with your client means making all the decisions based on their best interests alone. This is challenging when you are working with two parties with competing interests. Will your buyer expect that you're telling them everything about the house, even items that may not be required to be disclosed? Will your seller expect that the offer you are making on behalf of your buyers is the best offer since you have knowledge of their pre-approval amount and finances? Makes sense to me, guys. Sorry, it's not going forward with the slide. All right, let's review. Did it skip forward? Yep, set expectations. We've talked about the 3 levels of service and revisited being a fiduciary in a fiduciary relationship with your clients. You could see those as the what of being a great agent. Now let's talk a little bit about the how of being a great agent. How you reach the 3 levels of service for your clients is largely about communication and education. As a real estate agent, you are immersed into buying and selling houses every single day. It's your job, and for a lot of us, it's our passion as well. For our clients, this is something that they may never have done. Even if they are a repeat buyer or seller, they are likely to do this more than every 8 years or so, according to NAR statistics. The stakes are huge. For most of us in the United States, our homes are our single biggest asset. Therefore, you are going to demonstrate your expertise by educating your client on the realities of the market. Now, how do you know about the market if you haven't sold a house yet? I'm asking you that question seriously because that is a legit question. If you have not sold a home yet, how will you know what the market is doing? You need to immerse yourself back into your market center. You should be coming into the office. You should be coming to the team meetings. You should be talking to other agents. What are you seeing in the market? You know what I mean? That's the only way, is to get into it. Start asking questions. Start talking to people. A key component.
Look at the MLS.
Yeah, look at the MLS. There's trends on there.
MLS, all the reports and graphs, and yeah.
Yeah. And you know what else you can do? Go a little bit deeper and pick a zip code. Watch some of the houses. See if they're falling off the market in 2 days, a week, a month. You're going to end up seeing some homes that you've seen on the list for a while. So do a saved search, look at it every day, see what's changing, how many homes are coming on new in that area. You know what I mean? A key component to educating your clients is to review the entire process. You've likely already touched on it during your buyer or listing consultation. However, this is a complicated and emotional process that people don't remember everything the first time you tell them, especially when it isn't in proximity. So what is this saying? You can show them 10 times and they will forget. But if you remind them where you're at in the process, sometimes it eases people's minds. Set time expectations. For example, if you told a buyer they need to get into to see properties the same day they hit the market 2 months ago, when they were focused on getting their down payment together, they likely won't remember the details. That happens to even me. If you are now setting up their search, you should update them on how quickly the market is moving in their desired neighborhood and price point. What does that mean? Well, if a home was listed today, we should probably go see it today. I'm not joking. Like I said earlier today, what the trend I'm seeing is homes are either on the market for 1 week or they're on there for a few months. So they're either going super fast or they're sitting. Okay. And you don't want them to miss out on that opportunity. Make it clear why it's important to shift their schedules around to the point of inconvenience to see a house that fits their criteria. What will end up happening is, you know, you don't want to be like, hey, if you don't go see this house, you're going to lose it. Obviously, we don't want to do that. I would just stress, hey, this house was just listed. I think it's priced really well. Do you have time to go see it today or tomorrow? Right? If they say no, that's fine. See if you can set it up for the weekend. The problem is you want to tell them it could go pending by then, which means you don't get to go see it. You know what I mean? And what will end up happening is they will have it happen to them. They will say, no, my schedule, my kid has practice, we have doctor's appointments, my dog is sick, whatever the case may be. And then they're going to wait till the weekend and you're going to get a text from the agent saying, hey, the property went pending. Sorry, you can't show the property. And then they're going to be like, gosh, dang it. I really wanted to see that house. I thought that was the one. Well, now we got to keep looking. Right? So if you set those expectations with them, they're not going to be pissed off at you when it does go pending. They're not going to be pissed off at you because they didn't get a chance to see the house. You told them, hey, I'm going to try to get us a time for Saturday morning. Just know that it could go pending by then. Your job is done. It's not mean, it's realistic.
I have a good
Go ahead.
example. 2 weeks ago, a friend of us / teacher that we both teach at the same school, and she wanted to look at 2 houses and kind of dilly-dally here and there, randomly send me these 2 houses on Zillow and said, I want to see these houses. What do you think? And I right away, same within an hour, I looked them up. I called the agents and in Middletown. They're both, one went and it hasn't shown, I mean, on MLS didn't say any pending, but it was a night before they signed a contract on the first one. The second was an hour before I called. So it was one on a contract. So it was like, I was like, we can't, it's all both, you know, we can still obviously send an offer, but it's too late.
Yep, exactly.
And exactly, it was the same thing. 10 days. One is funny as one was under 9 days, and the other one was 76 days, but it happened that they dropped the price and people went for it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
But
Exact
setting that
same.
expectation can help the process, because
Right.
a lot of times when we're let down, it's our own expectation of how the situation was supposed to go. And that's speaking for anything. I don't know if you've ever been to a party and you're like, man, that party was lame. And it's generally because in your mind, you're like, man, this party's going to be popping. And then you get there and it's lame. And you're like, well, that was a letdown. I should have stayed home, right?
Right.
It's our own expectations that let us down. So setting those expectations, hey, I'm going to try real hard to get us in on Saturday. Just know it could go pending before then. Then it's really up to them. That's you telling them you can wait to see it Saturday, but you could lose it. And then they can make the decision whether or not they truly have to wait till Saturday or they want to go see it tonight.
It's funny, like on Craigslist, I was like looking at these antique tools for the school, and it's this, you know, simple example where you tell them, I asked the seller, can I see you on Monday? Can I come and sack and pick it up on Monday? And he said, if it's not, I haven't sold it by Monday, then it's yours, but I'm not going to hold it for you. So
Exactly.
he's going to sell it. I'm not going to wait. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Totally get it. All right. Set document expectations. Did I go over this? You will likely need to go over the contract before you ever see a house with your buyer or before showings begin with your seller. By going over it now when there isn't time pressure, they will have some familiar, I can't say that word, with it before they need to rush out to put an offer on it. So what is this saying? Go over the agreement with them. Go over the, what is it called? The purchase agreement. Go over that with them. Explain to them what each section is. Tell them what a contingency is, because a lot of people think they know that word and then they really don't know that word and they don't know what each means. Appraisal contingency, inspection contingency, loan contingency. What do each of those mean? And why do we have them in place? Explain those things to them. That way, when they're like, oh, it's Saturday, we need to write the offer because it's not pending yet, and you have to go over it line by line. Or worse yet, send it to them via DocuSign and they don't know what they're signing. That's not a good look either, right? Because then what's going to happen is you're in contract and you're like, hey, we need to remove the loan contingency. And they're like, what's that? Well, you signed that, you knew what that was. So, you know what I mean? Hi, Teresa. Set contingencies. What will happen if a home comes on the market that is perfect for their buyers the weekend your sister is getting married out of state? Have a plan and communicate it well in advance. So what does that mean? I already told you I work on Christmas. I work on New Year's. I'll work on my dang birthday. If you need me to get a job done for you and I'm in contract with you, or you're thinking about buying, I'm going to work. That's just who I am as a person. Needs to be done. And the only person to do it is me. I'm going to do it. But I do take vacations. I do those things. So if you need to see a house and I'm not available, I'm going to find an agent to show you the house. You don't got to talk to them. You don't got to whatever, but I will get it done for you. So letting them know that you have what's the word I'm looking for? A village, if you will, that you can reach out to. That's also why coming into the office and coming to the meetings, going to the barbecue, like you were talking about earlier, Edith, those are all great things for you to do because you're going to build relationships with agents that when situations like this come up, you can say, hey, I got $30 if you can open a door for my client. Right? Oh, it's
And know if they are going, I heard that the other day, if they have a plan that you don't know, they're going in the middle of the transaction, they're going on a vacation where they need to sign.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
set contingencies. What will happen if a home comes on the market that is perfect for your buyers the weekend your sister? I already did this. Have a plan and communicate it. Hang on, let me read my notes. Okay, so this is saying if they do have vacation, like you said, Reza, and
Yeah.
we need to, you need to tell them that there are some things that they will need to address on vacation. That's just the way it is. There will be documents that they will need to sign. Teresa is my transaction coordinator, and she is the best at saying, if I tell her, hey, we need to send this document out, she'll say, hey, we also have 5 more documents that need to go out. Let's give it just an hour or so. Let me get those together so we can send everything together, right? Because it never fails. You send a document and then I'll have to text my client and be like, oh, I got to send you another one, right? Set up-to-date market expectations. We've kind of covered this a few times, but you know what? While you're in contract, the market could change. Updating your client's view on the market is another way for you to show your expertise. They need to understand the realities of the market they are in. That changes, let them know. Is it a seller's market or an extreme seller's market? Are the house sales slowing down to become more of a buyer's market? National trends in the housing are often on the news. However, that doesn't mean your clients are paying attention or that the news station is correct. And also, if you talk to me or if you talk to Reza or if you talk to Edith, we might all say different things. Is it a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? Well, in my opinion, there's a lot more buyers than there are homes. And depending
Nationally,
go ahead.
on a national is usually, I mean, it's always good, right? To as you said, go to your market center, because the local for us in California is totally different than national usually, right?
Right.
Still so
Well,
many
and it
houses
could
are.
say that it's a seller's market, but that home that's been on the market for 95 days might not have very many offers, and you might be able to get in, you know, with 1 offer rather than competing with 5 offers. So everyone wants to know that as buyers and sellers. Well, depends on who you ask.
Right.
But I am always very realistic with people, and I tell them that, you know, I primarily work with buyers, and right now there's just not that many properties on the market. So take that for what you will. Why is this being so finicky? Set expectations seamlessly with your KW tech. As usual, KW has technology you can leverage to help you show your expertise clearly and consistently. What I would tell you is that if you haven't done 3 transactions, I believe, are you still required to use our in-house TC?
Absolutely, yes.
Yes, they are going to help you with this tremendously. You will never
With
want to
350.
Yeah, you will never want to do another transaction without a transaction coordinator. I couldn't live without Teresa. There's just no way. You can't do it. It's, well, you could, but it's going to be harder. 3 steps to gaining referrals: provide value, ask for help, and reward. You might be thinking, we haven't put in an offer on a house. Why am I asking for reviews and referrals? Because you are already providing value, which is the first step to gaining referrals and reviews. From the beginning, tell your client, throughout this process, I'm going to give you an amazing service and earn your trust so that you will want to refer me to your family and friends. 68% of sellers who used an agent found them through a referral by a family or friend. 68%, guys. That's high. So even if you weren't able to find something for your client, you weren't able to find them that right house, that's not your fault. I mean, unless it is and you're not doing what you're supposed to. However, you're still looking at the MLS every day. You are still telling them, I will take you to see this home right now. Let's go. I'll get in my car. Let's go. I will write that offer. Let's go. You are providing service. So ask them for a review. Ask them if they have any friends looking. What's the worst they can say? Nah, I don't really like to do that. That's okay. That's fine. So this is telling you how to ask for a 5-star review. Let's see. Have you ever given a review? Most of the time when I give a review, it's a bad one. I'm trying to be better because I'm now in a position to ask people for positive reviews. I'm now practicing in my own life to give positive reviews as well, because normally it's a bad one, right?
Yeah. They say when their offer gets accepted, ask when it's closed, ask when they move, when the happy time.
Look at you paying attention in Ignite.
Try.
So let's read this one. If your purchasing or selling experience exceeded your expectations, would you be so kind to give me a brief review? I'd also like your permission to use this in my advertising and marketing. That's what it's telling you to send to your clients. Email them this. Ask them to give you a 5-star review, or ask them, how was my service, so that I can make sure and service people better. There's nothing wrong with that. Seller-oriented reviews gain attention when they address things like the client's home sold quickly, they got their asking price or above, they were impressed by the service. Buyer reviews. The buyer found their perfect home quickly. The agent negotiated a great price. The transaction went smoothly. They were impressed by the service. I will tell you that I'm trying to think, at least in the last 2 transactions I had, one of them, the sweet clients just didn't know what the heck they were doing, barely with life, okay? I walked them through every single process. These are the same clients I told you about yesterday, that they came to me when it was time to make their first mortgage payment, and guess who walked them through that? I did. I went above and beyond for them. I was aware of that, and I would be glad to sit down with them every single time they needed help, because that's what I want to do. I want them to feel like I am here not just for the paycheck, and I'm not here just for the paycheck. Sitting down with them and showing them the information that they already had was not something I needed to do, but I did it. They needed my help, and I want to help them. But one of the other transactions I had this year, the buyer was a past agent. And he's an investor. He buys properties and he lives in them for 3 or 4 years, does significant amount of work, and he sells them. That's what he does. He has been through transactions before, and it was a little bit intimidating. Not gonna lie. But I will tell you that my goal was to impress him. I wanted to impress him. He has a family member that's an agent. And when we first met, he told me, I don't want to use her anymore because I feel like she didn't give me enough attention. So it's just every inspection that happens on any property that I have in contract, I go to them. I'm at least there to let the inspector in. I talk to the inspector, I meet the inspector. And my client showed up for the walkthrough and he was like, I didn't know you were going to be here. Well, first of all, I should have told him. So that was one thing that I knew in my head. I need to tell them that I'm going to be there. And he was very impressed by that because his last agent would not do that. So I felt happy that I was able to do something that his other agent didn't do for him, right? There's a lot of things that you would be surprised about to know that people get happy that you've done for them. I don't know if that made any sense, but I meant what I said.
Like stay in the house to save on the tax free equity for 2 years, whatever, 3 years, and move to another house.
What do you mean?
Was he like living in a house for 2 years or 3 and then
currently he
selling
was renting an apartment, so he was between
Okay.
flips. Yeah.
I see. Okay.
What buyers want most from their agent? We went over this with sellers. Let's do it with buyers. Help finding the right home to purchase. Help buyer negotiate the terms of the sale. Help with the price negotiations and other. So the biggest thing they want help with is finding the right home. So when I'm doing open houses, that's the number one question I ask is, how are you searching for homes? If you tell me Zillow, I'm going to tell you I have a better system for you. Are they going to believe me? Probably not, but I'm going to tell them exactly what I know. Zillow takes a few days to catch up with MetroList. So if you are only using Zillow, let me give you a better option. Okay. Paperwork is 8%. Why is it saying that over here, but not on this chart? Help with paperwork, 8%. Determine what comparable homes are selling for, 6%. Help to determine how much the home buyers can afford, 4%. That's not your job. That's the lender's job. Buyer's needs analysis. Who will be living in this home? List adults, children. So this is going over what we kind of already covered with working with buyers, but let's go over it again. These are questions you should be asking them. And if you are wondering why you should be asking this question, then we need to have a different talk. These are all very important questions that you need to know when you're working with buyers. Who will be living in the home? List adults, children, pets. Inhabiting the space. Why would pets be important? Because pets are life. Just kidding. Not kidding, because that's true for me. My pets are my children. I have 3 large German Shepherds, and they are part of my home. I could never move to an apartment. It would never work for me. Do they need a yard? Do they need 2 acres?
Yeah.
Do they need a room for their dog? This is not a laughing matter, but it is, because you'd be surprised how important pets are to some people's homes. So these are all questions that you need to know. Yes. If you had to name your top 5 non-negotiables, what would they be? Important questions, because if they're going to tell you that they could never live next to a school because they don't like the foot traffic, you need to know that. Because when you set them up on their home search and this is next to a school, why would you show them that? They're going to say, you didn't listen to me. What are your non-negotiables for your home? Beyond your top 5 needs, what is something you really want? Sorry, go ahead, Reza.
No, I said pool, 2-story, no 2-story.
Right.
Yeah.
Or I would love a 2-story, but I need to have one of the bedrooms be on the floor level. You know, things like that. Do you have a preference for the year the house was built? Do you want a house move-in ready, or are you willing to do a little bit of work? Why is that important? Because when you do a search on MLS, you're going to have both come up, right? When people visit your home, what do you want them to say about you? They're going to say about me, there's a lot of dogs that live here. Are there any specific features that would make your next house feel like home? Will you require accessibility options? All great things we need to know. Buyers' lives change, buyers' world changes. The answers we've brainstormed fall into two basic categories. Buyers' lives change and the world around buyers changes. In either case, a buyer's needs can change. Whether a change in their lives or the world around them, you may need to revisit the needs analysis during the transaction. I'm actually in this exact situation right now. I have some buyers. They had very specific needs. They wanted to have a specific home be the homeschool, and they have, of course, a budget. They also want a 3-car garage. So they're looking for a 3-car garage in Citrus Heights, Del Campo being the homeschool, under $750. It don't exist. Okay, it does. However, they also kind of want a pool. The wife wants a pool, and they also want RV and boats, like storage on the property. So he also told me that if you find one, above the $750, show it to me anyways. We've been looking for a very long time. Now, when we first got together, they needed to move because her dad would potentially need to move in with them. And they have way too many kids and not enough room, right? But their situation has changed. 2 of their kids have moved out. Now they still want to move, but they don't have a need to move. So what I'm just telling you is that you need to stay in contact with them. If you're sending them homes and they're not responding to you, or they're not interested in going to see any of them, revisit that with them. Hey, am I still sending you the right, are we on the right track? Can we talk about this again? That's okay to ask, because I don't want to waste your time, and I definitely don't want to waste my time. And if I'm not sending you the right homes, let's talk about that. Oh, let's talk about tough conversations. A thorough and frequently revisited and revised needs analysis is your greatest resource in having a tough conversation with your clients. Conversations about what they can afford, the realities of the market, timelines, and move-in ready versus fixer-uppers are strengthened by referencing the needs analysis. So you're going to have a lot of tough conversations with people, and you're going to have to talk about money. I don't know how many people were raised like I was raised. I don't want to say that it was like a huge deal, but we didn't really talk about money. I mean, I kind of knew that we didn't have a lot of it, but even in work situations, you're not allowed to talk about what you make versus what Reza makes versus what Teresa makes versus what Edith makes. You just don't do it. And there's been a huge cloud over that. I don't know if I worded that right, but you're going to have to talk about that. They may be pre-approved for $300,000, but they don't want to pay that monthly payment. Tell me what you are more comfortable paying, and then let me have a conversation with your lender. Make sense? Show homes based on needs analysis. Go over that needs analysis with them, and then show them what's on the list. Now, I will tell you that if you're sending them 50 homes a day and they don't like any of them, look at that needs analysis and then maybe broaden the search a little bit. Send them something that, let me give you for instance, my client wanted to be in a specific area. He didn't really have specifics on the home, but I knew what he needed. He's moving in with his parents. One of his parents is very ill, didn't need a lot of room, really only 2 bedrooms. He was looking at a very specific area. And his parents currently live 2 hours away from any hospital. His father is very, very ill. You know, he told me my dad needs to be closer to a hospital. I need to be closer to my family. When my dad falls, I have to go over there. It takes me 2 hours to get there to help him up off the floor because my mom can't lift him. Anyways, long story short, the area that he was looking at was still very far from a hospital, and we just weren't finding anything, and his dad was declining daily. Okay. I kept sending him houses, and he was like, no, we don't like that. We don't like that. I don't like that. It's too far, blah, blah, blah. I stepped out of the area that he wanted to see, and I went a little bit closer. So I found him the home that we are now in contract in. Now, was I taking a risk? Because I was going off of that needs analysis, but I already knew what he needed. The home that I found him has 2 bedrooms, but the top story of the home is the kitchen, it's the living area, it's the master bedroom. The whole bottom level is a whole nother, it's got a separate entrance, it's got a bathroom, it's got a living room, and it's got a bedroom. It's perfect for them, you guys. And I might not have found that if I didn't step outside of that area that he specifically gave me, but I stayed in that area for a very long time, and we just weren't finding what they needed. So think outside the box, even though it says show homes based on the needs analysis. Showing homes best practices. Show only the best properties for your buyer. Have MLS listing with pricing information and key details included disclosure. Mark properties on a map and answer location questions. Be knowledgeable about the property and neighborhoods. Include recent comparable sales to answer pricing questions. Point out potential issues / concerns with each house. I'm going to address something because I don't know about you, but number 4 gives me anxiety. Be knowledgeable about the property and neighborhoods. Now, being knowledgeable about the property, that's easy. I could sit there and read the MLS for an hour and give you all of the knowledge I have based on what's given to me. But knowing about the neighborhoods can be challenging. Now, if you're going to ask to buy a home in Rio Linda, I got you. I've lived there my entire life. If you want to buy a property in North Highlands, I'm going to call my girl Amy or Teresa, and we're going to have a conversation, and I'm going to be a know-it-all about North Highlands. If you want to know about Natomas, I could give it a Google, but so can they. Now, will they? No. But what I'm saying is that can be a little bit challenging because all you can do is what you can do, which is Google it. But also you can Google it. You can ask other realtors. Do your job, earn your money. Make sense? They expect you to be the expert. Be the expert. Oh, my computer is telling me my kid has football practice. Yes, I know. Go away. Showing homes means agent interaction. This is a fun one. Once you start showing homes, you're going to have to reach out to agents. Not all agents are nice. Not all agents want to talk to you. Not all agents will talk to you. Be a good human, right? So show the same level of service to those other agents as you show to your clients. Don't come into it with an attitude. Obviously, these are common sense things, right, guys? Calling the listing agent to schedule an appointment when the instructions clearly say they would like you to use a scheduling service will not endear you to them. What does that mean? High-level agents do not want to talk to you. I'm going to say it again. High-level agents do not want to talk to you. If they have a system in place to show the home, let's say they're using showing time, use showing time. I will tell you that even if it does that and I book an appointment, I might text the agent and say, hi, thank you so much for setting this up. We're looking at it tomorrow. Can't wait to see it. That's it. They're not going to respond to you, but MLS might also tell you to text a certain agent and you text someone else. They're going to be like, this lady does not know how to read and they're causing me to do more work. Well, what happens? Let's say you go to look at the house and then they get an offer from you and they're going to be like, that lady already irritates me because I had to explain to her how this transaction works. Okay, make sense? Home tour toolkit. I do not have this yet. However, I think it's a great idea because I took clients out to see properties when it was storming and we had to take our shoes off. I didn't have any booties. I should have had that. So I think this is a great idea. Just some ideas: sanitizing wipes, paperwork, map, first aid kit, flashlight, level. I don't know why you would need a level, but hey, tape measure is a great idea. Paper goods, tissues, toilet paper, paper towels. I will tell you, have toilet paper in your trunk. You or your client will have to use the restroom and there's not going to be any toilet paper at that house. You bring toilet paper. Masks is on here. I haven't seen anywhere that has required masks. Oh, I lie. I did show a house and the client was going through chemo, requested that we wear masks. It's not a bad idea to have some masks in your car. Beverages and snacks. This might seem silly, but I'm telling you right now, you're going to have clients that have kids that need to have some food in their system. I also go to the dollar store and buy those little like Hot Wheels cars or like little Barbie dolls. And then I have that. It costs me $1 and I make an impression on the kids. I give them something and then they get excited to see me. You know what I mean?
It looks like it's prepping to go camping.
Exactly. Okay, safety first when showing homes. Remember the tips from the open houses. Always be aware of your surroundings and only meet clients that you have already vetted. Do not go to a vacant house with an unknown buyer alone. Amy always says if she's meeting a buyer that she's never met before, let's say it's a Zillow lead, I need you to send me a copy of your driver's license. And if they don't want to do that, I don't want to work with you. Now, that's just me. I use that for open houses too. When I require them to sign in, I'm flat out honest with people. This is for my safety. What if something happens to me? Don't you think the police are going to want to know who was here? That's just the honest truth. I also tell them the owner wants to know who was in their house. If you were selling your house, wouldn't you want to do the same? Right? Oh, always announce yourself, even if you've been told a listing is empty. Let me tell you a story. We went for a inspection. I confirmed with the agent that the night before, just confirming, we're on for our reminder, our inspection is tomorrow. I drive 2 hours away because that's where the listing was to let the inspector in. And I open the door and I say, hello, hi, because someone was living there. Even though I confirmed with the listing agent and they confirmed with the seller, I say hello, I start opening the doors. They were asleep in the bedroom. It was the scariest moment of my life, you guys. It was scary. They were sick and they did not see the text from the listing agent. They did in fact leave. They weren't mad, but announce yourself, okay? Warn clients that homes may have cameras. I've told my clients before, I see cameras, let's hold our discussion until we get outside. Because the last thing we want to do is piss off the sellers and tell them that their taste in decoration sucks. Right? So just think about these things. Remember, your goal is to sell a home, not to show homes. Pay attention to your buyer's body language and cues to avoid continuing to show them homes that they don't like. If they say they don't like this home, dig a little deeper. Ask them why. Can you give me a specific about why you didn't like that home? And if they say, I don't know, well, do you think it was the neighborhood? Do you think it was the layout of the home? Do you think it was the little backyard? Do you think it was the color of the walls? Like, tell me more. If you show the buyer the first 2 homes on your list, they hate them, and you know that they hate then you know that they will hate the third, cancel your last showing. Say, you know what, guys, I know that you hated those last 2 homes, and this third home is pretty much identical. How about you say, we don't go to the third home, let me go back to the drawing board, and I'll get you a new list for this weekend. Nothing wrong with that. Reasons buyers hesitate. They are afraid to commit. They don't like some minor detail of the home. They feel they haven't seen enough homes. They need to sleep on it and or get an opinion of a trusted advisor. Your job is to help your buyer make the best decision for them. Buying a home is a big deal, and the buyers can experience hesitation and reluctance. Guidelines to facilitate decision-making. Always go back to their motivation. Again, remember, we want to ask them why they're buying. We want to know what is their reason for buying, because when they have hesitation, we need to go back to that motivation and say, you know, we found everything that marked all your boxes, and you really want to move so that you can have Christmas morning with all of your family and host that. Don't you think this house would give you that? Whatever, I made that up, but go back to their needs and wants. Advise them as a consultant and fiduciary. Solve their challenges. Calculate the cost of waiting. If we wait to write this offer, we could lose it. I've talked to the agent and they have 2 other people that are saying that they're going to write an offer. Now they could not, but they probably will, right? Anything you guys want to talk about before we go on to success with sellers? We're running a little bit over.
Oh,
Go ahead. Questions?
oh, I said it almost 3 o'clock, but it
I
doesn't
know.
matter. Yeah.
Okay, so what
it's-
sellers want most from their agent? Help price their home competitively. They're going to ask you where you think the home should be priced, and you need to be able to explain why you think it should be priced there. Help seller market home to potential buyers. Kind of already went over all of that. Seller needs price, time frame, and conveyances. We start in the same place with the seller that we do with the buyer. Their needs analysis. For sellers, we need to know their price, time frame, and conveyances so that you can get to them great offers from able, ready, and willing buyers. Sellers' lives change, sellers' world changes. Just as with the buyers, when things aren't going as you think they should, you need to revisit and perhaps even revise their needs analysis. Just as with buyers, either the seller's lives change or the world around the sellers can change. You may need to revisit that. What is in the seller's control? The price and the condition. There are just 2 things a seller can control: price and condition. Your job is to know the market and advise them on how to get the best price with the least work in the quickest time frame. We really do have a tough job, guys, but I know that we can do it. Sensitive seller conversations. Getting a home ready to sell for the highest price with the least work in the best time frame can involve some sensitive conversations. Hardly anyone keeps their house show ready all the time, and it's more of a challenge for some sellers than others. You may have to ask them some tough questions. Odors from pets, smoking, mothballs, or unclean conditions. Illegal activities, guns in the house, cash, jewelry. All these things are going to need to be addressed, right? Great agent versus client communication provides a strong foundation for a sustaining relationship, sets and manages expectations proactively throughout the transaction, creates peace of mind for your clients, enhances credibility. If a client violates the Fair Housing Law, remind the client of their obligation under the Fair Housing Act. Discontinue representation of the client. You may have to do that. Report the incident to your broker immediately. This covers your booty. Fully documenting the situation. Consult an attorney if necessary. Don't mess around with your license, guys. No commission is worth your reputation. This is the guidelines by Keller Williams. That is win-win or no deal. Needs to be a win-win for both sides. Obviously, you don't want to rip off the seller. You don't want to rip off the buyer. Integrity, do the right thing. Customers always come first. Commitment in all things. Communication, seek first to understand. Creativity, ideas before results. Teamwork, together everyone achieves more. Trust starts with honesty.
I didn't get that.
Oh,
Could you try again?
stop it. Opportunity for all. Success results through people. 14-step marketing plan for listings. Capitalize on your listings by marketing your brand at the same time to bring in more listings and more buyers. If you have a listing and you market it correctly, you're going to show everyone on your social media page and everyone that sees it on the MLS that you're going to do the most for your sellers. Who's not going to want that? Highly productive listing agents market both their brand and their listing at the same time. The marketing opportunity provided by listings is why they are one of the 3 pillars of the successful real estate agent. Let me ask you this. Have you all taken your headshots yet?
Yeah.
Perfect. That's part of your marketing. That's part of your branding. So the other thing I would say is make sure that your headshot is up to date. So don't wait 10 years to take your other headshot. I can tell you, I've had my headshots done 5 times, but I'm also a photographer and I know a lot of photographers and I'm like, I need a winter headshot and a summer headshot. But anyway.
I don't have that problem. I have no hair, so it doesn't matter.
Well, as a woman, my hair changes. So I remember when I first got my headshots done, this piece of my hair was blonde. And then when I got it changed, I was like, crap, I need new headshots. Anyway, but I have met agents where I'm like, that's not what your headshot looks like, my guy. You need to get that updated.
Yeah. Or you don't pay $50 it's not going to be a good headshot if you're paying $50. That's what I did. And I changed it.
Got it. The message you put out to attract prospective buyers and sellers is everything. Why would they want to contact you in this market? What would they get if they did? These 2 questions are at the heart of all effective messaging. Your MLS listing reflects your brand, so get it right. I don't know if you haven't gone on to MLS and looked around, you need to, because I've read great descriptions of homes and I've read horrible descriptions of homes. I've seen great listing pictures. I've seen horrible listing pictures. Look at both. Look at the bad ones and the good ones and say, this is how I want to portray my listing. This is how I don't want to portray my listing. Okay, the internet is not helping. Proper signage. So that's the other thing I would recommend, Edith, is to start looking into some signs, because if you do get a listing, you're going to need to have a for sale sign. Again, if the client is okay with having a sign in the yard, some people aren't. Anything you guys want to talk about before we move on to success with co-agents? At this point in the transaction, you'll likely be communicating with several different agents, either listing agents on properties your buyers are interested in, or buyers agents representing buyers interested in your listing. Though these contacts may be brief, they are still important. Always remember that you are making the first impression you're going to get on the agent. Always be respectful. And always read the MLS information. Reach out to them the way they're asking to be reached out to. Always say hello, always be nice. Could make or break the deal. It shouldn't, but the agent could have a bad, have an issue with you and not represent your offer to their client the way they should. Some people are jerks, you guys. Right. We're 7 minutes over and I apologize for that. I think I took too long of a break, but yesterday we finished early. Anything you guys want to chat about before we end Ignite today?
Thank you.
You're good. Awesome. Engage every conversation in the spirit of contribution, and people are happy to be in a relationship with me. Don't forget your positive affirmations, and I will see you guys next Wednesday.
Okay.
I won't be here. I'll be up in the Sierra Buttes, and I'll try to log in, but if I can't, Amy said I can listen, revisit the videos of the recording, and then write up 5 things I learned from each session, I guess. Okay.
Yep. And you can find those videos on YouTube. If you go to our YouTube page, we have an Ignite playlist, and that's how you can do that.
Thank you.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome. I'll see you guys later.
Hey, cool.
Later.
Bye.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.